call ourselves to order, and we'll have everyone stand, we'll do the asbestos sign, go over stuff with the Lord in prayer, and then after that, we'll do the pledge of allegiance.
Lord, we thank you again. It's a simple gift to say it. Thank you for your blessings this day, safety on the highway. Lord, we ask that you be with this meeting tonight, that everything might be done as according to thy will. All these favors, Lord, we ask in thy name and for thy sake. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Ross. Councilwoman Fletcher.
Here.
Councilwoman Vickers.
Here.
Councilman Dowdy. Councilman Simon.
Here.
Mayor Fletcher. Here. Quarter Signer here, and Attorney Kennedy is.
First order of business then is the approval of the minutes for March 17th, 2026.
So on the first page, under receiving the financials, it does say seconded by Councilwoman Dowdy. Then I did that, you want to?
Yeah, 2 months.
Okay, anybody have anything to say? March 17th, insurance? No. Anything else? Is that it? Somebody will put that in form of a motion, and we accept those with the one correction?
So moved.
So move to Jason, we have a second?
Two corrections.
Oh, two corrections.
I'll second.
Second by Melanie. And all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? So ordered. Next one's March 26th, the special session minutes.
Under the roll call, Mark is under Councilwoman again. And then I'm on caps for some reason, I don't know why. I'm on caps.
That's short and sweet. Anybody have any corrections other than the two that's been mentioned? If not, somebody will put that in form of a motion to approve March 26th.
I'll put the form motion.
Okay, Nicole? We have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Melanie. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? So ordered. All righty. Receiving of the March financial statements. That's in your packet.
You'll notice that the income for the month of March was $138,573.90. Expenditures for the month was $68,330.45. And left us with a surplus for the month of $70,243.45. The ad valorem, the March ad valorem, or pretty much the rest of the year's ad valorem came in, so that was $113,000. We did have, as far as expenses were concerned, $11,200 to Charleston Heating Company, which is what council approved for what we hear running right now. That's really about it. I mean, Kanawha Valley Maintenance, they had to replace a fan in one of the air conditioners. Everything else is pretty much standard. Do you have any questions?
Any questions at all? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve the financial statements as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by Melanie, do we have a second?
So moved, or second?
Second by Jacob. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? So ordered. All right. Old business, just remind everybody, voting will start on the 27th, and it will be right next door to us here in the old computer room.
29th.
It's the 29th.
Is the 27th when they come and change the law? Right?
Yeah, I think,
Yeah, but the voting's actually the 29th.
yeah, I got it wrong.
29th then through the 9th, so correction there. So they will start and get everything in here sometime next week for the voting booths and all that. And then we will have the election on May the 12th. That will be for all federal, state, and local elections. So May 12th will be the election here in Belle for anybody in precinct 112. Next thing on the agenda there is meet the candidates. That'll be Thursday night, 2 nights from tonight, and start at 6:00 p.m. John or Melanie or Nicole or whoever, what's the setup?
I think we're gonna have it in the gymnasium, and we'll have chairs set up for everyone.
Okay. That's 6 o'clock. Okay, all righty. Next thing, and I had sent you this before, and the couple changes did get made on the employee handbook. But this, the few changes that did get made that I mentioned before, and it would be effective May 1st, and action needed on that, so we need to have a council approval according to our attorneys to get that made, and
So, just to say, what was changed was, we changed the vacation time to where the police is in line with the town people, so it makes it fair it was actually brought to our attention by Haught that, we weren't treating that fairly, which we found it was correct, so we did change that, to where now it's more in line with the town employees in general. And then the only other thing I seen change was the sexual harassment policy. It was more defined as to examples of sexual harassment, who can be a target, where it can happen, how you report it. That was more in line, really just to talk about that as well.
all right. That's what I'd sent you all before, and so you get the final version tonight. With that being said, somebody will put that in form of a motion to accept that employee handbook. Would be effective May 1st, and then we'll have, get that out to all the employees and have them sign their authorization papers and send those back.
So moved.
Okay, so moved by John, we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Melanie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? So ordered. All righty. Next order of business, under new business, laying of the property tax levy rates. Do you have that in your packet? which is something that has to be done each year, the third Tuesday of, the month that we submit our budget, which was the end of March, so, Ron, you want?
Yep, so, the West Virginia Secretary, or West Virginia State Auditor's Office and the Secretary of State require us to lay the levy. I have to report it within 2 days from today. The levy rate stays the same for all class 1, 2, and 4 property in the town as it has been the 8 years we've been here. And then the 4 years I was a council member before. With that being said, there was no changes. And it does have a net amount to be raised by ad valorem or property tax, $277,751. It's basically $12.50 per $100 on personal property, $25 for every 100 on class 2 property, $50 for every 100 on class 4 property. So, if you paid attention over the last 3 years that we've done this, that hasn't changed, and if you've been here longer than that, it hasn't changed for those other 4. So,
And changed even when I was recording that in the lane. It's been that same amount all these years, so. We need a motion to approve the levy rate.
So moved.
We'll move by Jacob, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Nicole, and we'll do a poll vote. Nicole?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
John?
yes.
Jacob?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. So thank you all very much. So that part for the budget's taken care of. Alrighty, next thing we have is the reading of the ordinances. 2026 Article 120, Indemnification and Insurance for covered officials, first reading.
All right, so this is just a reading, we're not voting on this tonight. Ordinance 2026-01, Article 120, I'm gonna screw this up. Indemnification, I cannot say that word, and insurance for covered officials. The town of Belle, town may defend, hold harmless, and indemnify each present or former member of the town council, the mayor, and any other elected or appointed public officials of the town, collectively called the covered officials, from and against any and all demands, claims, grievances, complaints, suits, actions, investigations, legal proceedings, liability, losses, damages, expenses, and costs, including court costs and reasonable and necessary attorney's fees incurred in connection with any civil, criminal, or administrative matter arising from acts or omissions in the performance of their official duties on behalf of the town, provided the council with any interested members recused determines that, 1, it is in the best interest of the town, 2, the matter arose from the discharge of an official duty in which the town has an interest, 3, the covered official acted in good faith, and 4, the town has the express or implied power to do so. No defense or indemnification shall be provided for acts or omissions that are finally adjudicated to have been outside the scope of official duties or undertaken with malicious purpose, in bad faith, or in a wanton or reckless manner. Indemnification under this ordinance shall ordinarily be provided by reimbursement of fees and costs paid by the covered official after the conclusion of the matter from such lawful funds as may be appropriated for that purpose. However, upon the request of the covered official, the council may, in its discretion, seek an advance judicial or attorney general determination of the legality of advancing attorney's fees and costs to a covered official, and, if permitted, may authorize such advances subject to written agreement by the covered official to repay any advancements if indemnification is ultimately revoked or later denied. Any advance indemnification may be revoked at any time by the council in its discretion. The council is further authorized in its discretion to purchase and maintain insurance on behalf of any covered official, providing a defense and and indemnification for such matters described above, and any benefits provided under such insurance shall be primary, with any indemnification from town funds available only to the extent not paid by insurance. Guidance was from the C. Powers versus Goodwin, 170 West Virginia, 151, 1982, and West Virginia Ethics Commission Advisory Opinion 2021 of January.
All right, you've heard the first reading of the ordinance 2026-01. Article 120, indemnification and insurance for covered officials, that was the first reading. So we'll go back for second reading next month. Next one is ordinance 2026-2, section 111-15, establishment of compensation for members of town council, first reading.
Be it ordained by the council of the town of Belle, county of Kanawha, state of West Virginia as follows. A bill to amend, reenact, and move chapter 3, article 111, section 111.15 of the codified ordinances of the town of Belle as amended, fixing and determining salaries, wages, and compensation for members of town council. Ordinance number 2026-2, that section of the codified ordinances of the town of Belle as amended, now known as chapter 3, article 111, section 111.15, and dealing with compensation of the members of town council is hereby amended as follows. Section 1, section 111.15, establishment of compensation of members of town council. The members of town council should receive as compensation for his or her services the sum of $200 per month. Section 2, all ordinances or parts of ordinances inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect on July 1st, 2026.
All right, we've had the first reading then of ordinance number 2026-2, section 111.15, establishment of compensation to members of town council, first reading. Next one is ordinance 2026-3, section 133.04, establishment and compensation of members of the sanitary board members, first reading.
Be it ordained by the council of the town of Belle, county of Kanawha, state of West Virginia as follows. A bill to amend, reenact, and move chapter 3, article 133, section 133.04 of the codified ordinances of the town of Belle as amended, fixing and determining salaries, wages, and compensation for each member of the sanitary board. Ordinance number 2026-3, that section of the codified ordinances of the town of Belle as amended, now known as chapter 3, article 133, section 133.04, and dealing with compensation of the sanitary board members is hereby amended as follows. Section 1, section 133.04, establishment of compensation of members of the sanitary board members. The sanitary board member shall receive as compensation for his or her services the sum of $200 per month. Section 2, all ordinances or parts of ordinances inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect on July 1st, 2026.
You've heard the first reading of the ordinance 2026-3, section 133.04, establishment of compensation of members of the sanitary board members. Again, it's first reading. Next order of business is DuPont Middle School Robotics Team donation request. John?
Yeah, so this was actually sent up to town hall from DuPont Middle School, the robotics team. They are raising money. I think they have. What is his name? Is going to nationals?
Yeah.
Is that what they're having? I know at least one team going to nationals. What it says here, one of their teams to St. Louis, Missouri. And they're looking for some donations.
What's the?
I know last month,
Anything?
we did $350 for a local, I think, baseball little league team. So I would believe we should do the same amount for this. So,
350?
yeah, I'll make a motion to
Motion to do
donate
350.
$350.
For the DuPont Middle School Robotics Team. Do we have a second? Second by Melanie. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed, like sign? So ordered. Approval of invoices, we don't have anything there, we don't.
No, sir.
Alrighty. Items from the mayor, the only thing, again, the voting, and then the second thing was the sheriff's department did start in, with us in town, as of last Wednesday. So they have been around and patrolling the town throughout the day, and not here at any certain times, so you may see them sometimes at night, you may see them sometimes during the day, but they have started. That's all I have tonight. Items from the attorney. Ray, anything?
No, I'm
Nothing? Okay. Items from council. Nicole?
I just wanted to do a reminder about the yard sale on May the 2nd for the town of Belle.
Is there
We didn't set a rain date.
Yeah, I think we said rain or shine,
Yeah.
What day was that, May?
May 2nd.
Second. Anything else?
Our, next band is gonna be May 1st, that's Friday. And it's gonna be Retro Country, 7 o'clock, doors open at 6. Food will be provided, for sale by the church, Nazarene Church.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. John, anything?
No, sir.
Jacob?
Nothing for
Anything?
me.
Nothing? Okay. Approval for visitors to address council? I make a motion?
We'll make a motion to.
Motion made. Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Nicole. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Uh,
All right, any opposed, like sign, so ordered. All right. We'll just start in one room. How about anybody over here?
I'm running for, my name's Paul Monroe, and I'm running for Kanawha County Commission. And, a little bit about myself, I was fortunate enough to be on the state football team, 1974. Graduated in 1975, went to WVU under Bobby Bowden. Was there 3 years, got hurt, came back to work, and I was surveyor for 13 years for the DOH. I was in city council for 4 years. There's a lot of other stuff, but my wife wasn't coaching me good enough. But there's some other stuff that I'm supposed to say, but I'd like to be your commissioner. I mean, I'm ready to hit the ground running, and I really don't know what you all need up here. I'd like some suggestions, you know, so I can check them out. But clean water is one thing. There's a lot of people here in Kanawha County who don't have clean water. I think that's ridiculous. But I don't know, does anybody have anything that they need done up here?
Boat ramp.
Boat ramp?
Boat ramp, but we might have to remove a couple of houses just to build one.
Yeah, okay.
The only bad thing is we don't have anything right on the river. It doesn't have a big steep bank to it or something.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Paul Monroe.
Okay.
And I grew up on the west side and used to hang around up here until the police run me off. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you talk, there's a lot of the residents and.
Yeah, I'd like to
We
hear
would like
I'm,
to,
I'm pretty interested in trying to help Kanawha County for once, instead of have somebody just talk about it, actually do something.
Yeah, welcome to the meeting tonight, and the former sheriff and his wife called me about you. So.
Oh, well, I hope it wasn't bad.
Denise, no, it's all good. Okay, but welcome, and glad to have you. And,
Well, it's good to be back here. I used to come up here quite a bit.
and Dave didn't ever say he took you to jail, so.
No, that was a long, long time ago.
Yeah, yeah. No, but anyway, we appreciate you coming and, good luck.
Well, I appreciate you all. Like I said, if anybody later on has some suggestions of what needs to be done up here besides the boat dock, or, you know, they put them in cleaned in. I mean, you know, that'd be good for up here.
Well, get in, we'd welcome $50,000 in the week.
All right.
There's always something we can do.
Well, like I said, I'm all ears, and I'm ready to, you know, this part of the country or county hadn't been looked at for a long time, you know. The Cabin Creek, you know, there's just a lot of places that they just ignore, really.
Exactly.
If it isn't around Charleston,
Unless
well,
it's a
they
plant.
just say.
A new plant coming in, we're the plant.
Yeah. We appreciate you, sir. Thanks
I
for coming.
appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Welcome to stay around and see everybody here.
Yeah, I'd
shortly.
like to.
No problem. Anybody else over here? Coming on around? Anybody?
Are we at step 11 yet? I'm sorry, I was like, I had to coach, but, I'm with the Riverside Youth Soccer, and we wanted to ask that we were able to, borrow one of your rooms again for our pictures like we had in the past. It's May the 9th, I know that's at the end of the primary, but we used a different room than where I normally vote, so I'm not for sure, but, it'll be May the 9th from about 12 to about 3:45.
What we need
And
to,
I think what we've done in the past, we've given them the large meeting room back
Yeah,
there.
that's what it was.
we
yeah.
just need to check with, Pam to
Yeah.
make sure it's not,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we don't have a problem with it, but we
Yeah,
need to check with
I
Pam.
know it, I looked, I was like, oh no, that's primary, but that's not usually the room that we voted in, so I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, well, we rent some of the rooms out,
Okay.
so if you'll check with Pam tomorrow, the clerk up front.
Okay.
And just
Yeah.
ask her if anything's on there, and if not, just ask her to put it on there, and I'll call her tomorrow too.
All right, thank you.
So we'll take care of that?
All right,
Yes.
appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Coming on around?
Since we got health insurance,
Yeah.
Bill,
He's still nights? Uh-huh.
he don't get a choice in one shift.
Sheriff's Department is patrolling the days and evenings and even some nights. It's just a contract until we can, see if we can hire some people.
And you can't tell the deputy sheriff if he's in black and white.
Yeah.
You don't even know if he until he comes down the street, you look at him.
And I know there was conversation around that, the reason we gave them a raise on the budget was, the police department raise is because we were bringing the sheriff's department in, that's not true. This is a fill gap, we said in the last meeting, I believe, that we're gonna let the next administration pick the chief of police. This is a fill gap to get to that to that part. It is a month-by-month, contract. I specifically asked that if that can be canceled, and Jerry, he was here for the meeting, and you heard us ask that. And the answer was yes, that is a month-by-month contract, can be canceled at any time.
I'm just happy with her helping us patrol until we get that.
Amen. Anybody else? All right. Nothing else then? Levy, yes. Nope.
She asked if we had 3 bids for the doors and windows yet.
Still waiting on, two bids. All righty. If nothing else, somebody will make a motion, we adjourn.
So moved.
So moved, we have a second?
I'll second.
Second, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We adjourn. Thank you all.